Welcome everyone to this 5th of 9 rounds of our 2023 QubicaAMF Bowling Promotion Tour Masters Series. As you can see, Lindsay Boomershine of the U.S. defeated 2 Colombians in our first 2 matches, Claire Guerrero and Jaime Gonzalez. Then she fell to Liz Johnson 220-212, who then went on to defeat Manuel Ortolora, also from Colombia. So now Liz earns the right to face the number 5 seed, left-hander Gwendal Joliff of France, who averaged 230 in his 18 games of qualifying. And the winner here gets to face Matt McNeil, the number 4 seed, another lefty from the U.S., the incomparable Matt McNeil. And after that, we have Jack Blythe, we have Daniel McEwen, and we have Dennis Grunheid waiting for the rest of this stepladder. So some very interesting matches coming up as we get to the conclusion of this Masters Series. But for now, in this 5th match, Gwendal Joliff will kick things off on the left lane, and he will unfortunately be right of target. That ball will dive through the head pin and leave him the 2, 4, 7, 10. Let's watch. That's definitely right of the 3rd arrow. Does not get out to where he needs it to be and turns through the beak. Looks like Gwendal's throwing a dark code there with a little bit of shine to it. We'll talk about that in a minute. But for now, here's Gwendal with his plastic ball going after the 2, 4, 7, 10. He'll need to slide the 2 into the 10 pin. Tough shot. Let's see if he can pull it off. And just a little bit right there. Give him 9 out for his first frame. Now we get our first look at Liz Johnson. She's coming off 2 240 games, and then by international rule she gets 8 pins of handicap. Any man bowling a woman, the woman gets a fixed 8 pins of handicap. That's what we have here. So Liz starts off with 8 in her score, and we'll tally that as we figure out who's ahead as we move through this match. This shot goes a little bit right. She's been pretty much straight up the boards. That one she got it in and went out a little bit. Looks like it set down inside of 10 board, goes outside of 10, doesn't quite make the turn, and comes back and leaves just the 2 pin for Liz. As we said, Liz averaging 245 or so on this pair, and just straight at the pocket, getting all kinds of good carry, and just Liz being Liz. Of course, Liz with 25 PWBA titles, including 10 majors. When the PWBA rebooted in 2015, she won the first 3 Bowler of the Year titles in 2015 to 2017. So she's been a dominant force on the PWBA tour and, of course, international competition as well. And Liz comes up to the left lane, a little bit drier lane usually. Straight up 10 and ring 10 for Liz. That's 2 rare non-strikes in a row. We'll see how she adjusts and what she does for the rest of this game. This is Bruce Hall here with you. I'm your international commentator for these Bowling Promotion Masters Series matches, along with Marc Chavet and Bruno Bidone, who give us the French commentary for the matches. And in fact, Marc Chavet will interview Gwendal Joliff after the match, win or lose. So stick around for that interview. And Marc Chavet, of course, the voice of the Tour de France over in the French countryside. And here is Gwendal. Let's see how he adjusts on this right-hand lane. Now, we talked about that dark code. The dark code is a rather angular ball, or what we might call quick. In other words, it's got a fairly sharp turn on the back end, and he's also got some shine to it. So I'm afraid that ball might be working against him a little bit, because the ball goes down the lane, saves energy, and turns hard on the back. Most of the time, what we've seen people do, and we'll talk about that. Oh, good shot there, though. Strike in the second for Joliff. Most people have put a little more surface, a little more aggressive surface on the ball, or have pinned down layouts. They want the ball rolling a little bit sooner on the lane. They don't want it to skid way down the lane, then make the sharp turn. But of course, here it works out perfectly for Joliff. And let's see how this works for the rest of the match. And I know that when I'm faced with a wet-dry condition, I like to have a fairly aggressive surface with some surface on it and go pin down and get the ball into a roll as soon as I can. Sometimes it costs you a little carry, but we will see how Gwendal adapts to this gateway arch oil pattern. Gwendal, of course, has had a lot of success, not only in this bowling promotion tour. He was a prominent part of last year's competition. And this, when he gets out to the left, does not make the corner. Kicks out the 3 and leaves just the 7 pin. So he thinks he likes the shot. It just goes through the front. This is kind of what we talked about. So with just a little bit of extra speed or a little bit of miss to the left, the ball does skid way too far down the lane past the break point and then turns up a little bit later. Sometimes if you have a little more surface, get it to read earlier, you can tame out some of that back end reaction. But nonetheless, here is Gwendal with a 7 pin conversion ahead of him, using his plastic ball. And no problem there. Now, unfortunately for Gwendal, even now, he's down about 18 pins because Liz had the 8-pin handicap, and she's got 2 marks, and Gwendal has the 1 open. So already an 18-pin deficit for Gwendal, and let's see what Liz does. Now, she was light on really her first 2 shots. Let's see what adjustment she makes here. And straight up the board. Still a little bit light, but this time she's in the pocket enough to get the carry. How about a late 4, 5, 7 carry? Let's watch this pin action. Headboard goes to the sideboard, comes to it. Really, the head pin did almost nothing. The 5 pin gets knocked over into the 4, and the 7 goes out on the mixer, and Liz says, thank you very much. So I think she'll continue to move based on that. As we said, this is our 5th match on this Gateway Arch pattern. We have not re-oiled between matches. So you're going to see a little bit of carry down. You'll see some transition. And I think Liz is seeing that a little bit. She might have to actually move right with her feet and go a little bit straighter up the lane. And got that one out a little bit. Comes up, slaps the 10. Perfect strike there for Liz Johnson. And let's see where this one crosses. That's right over 10 and doesn't quite get out as far as the other one does. It turns up. She got really good fingers on that ball. It turns up and slaps the 10 out just like you want it to do. So there's a double for Liz. Now a quick 28-pin lead for Liz. And let's see how Joliff responds. Liz could string them here. She knows what she's doing. She will not be rattled by anything Gwendal can do, so I suggest he starts striking right away if he'd like to stay in this match. As we said, the winner faces Matt McNeil, the incomparable Matt McNeil. He of the record at the USBC Open Championships. And good shot there by Gwendal. Seems to have the right lane figured out. Now let's see. He's gone high and he's gone light on this left lane. Let's see what he can do. And it looked like it crossed right over third arrow. Couldn't quite see it there, but it turned up for the mixer. And he's got a lot of power with that release. And certainly using it all to his advantage on that shot. So good shot there by Gwendal. And now over to the left lane. As we said, he's gone high and light. What will he do here? Talk about Matt McNeil. Matt is the tour rep for Storm on the ladies tour. So if he were to bowl Liz, then he coaches her and is her ball rep on the ladies tour, and now he's her competitor. So it'll be interesting if that match happens to come about. And that looked like a pretty good shot, but it does get too far left once again. And Gwendal kind of, I think, paying the price for that shiny skid flip equipment he's using. And again, not a bad shot. Just gets over the third arrow, just goes a little bit past the break point, turns up, once again breaks up the 3-7 split, but unfortunately leaves the spare and does not double, more importantly. So he's going to remain in this 28-pin deficit right now to Liz Johnson, and she could easily extend that in these next couple of shots. Takes the plastic ball straight at 3-6, no problem at all. Talked about these French competitors coming out. The coach is here. We have many great players that come out. Bruno Bidone puts on a wonderful show at the Touring of France. 18 games of qualifying in 3 different locations. And then here we are in this Masters Series step ladder. let's see if Liz can extend this to 3 in a row here. And that was inside for sure and blows the rack. That was definitely left of 10. Let's see where this ball crossed, if we can see it. Yeah, I can't really quite see what she hit, but it was definitely left of 10. Straight up and at it. And she goes, come on now, carry. Thank you. There's a triple for Liz. And now the lead extending. And with Gwendal unable to double, Liz can extend the lead yet further here. She's actually got a 38-pin lead right now. And that one's straight up 12. And another mixer strike. There's a 4-bagger for Liz Johnson, looking strong. And Gwendal needs to figure this out quickly, or it will be Liz Johnson against Matt McNeil. Coming up in the stepladder, of course, we have Jack Blythe in the number 3 position, Daniel McEwen second, and leading qualifier was Dennis Grunheid. So we have some heavyweights coming up in these last few matches of this QubicaAMF Bowling Promotion Tour Masters Series stepladder. And it is my pleasure to call these matches. Bruce Hall with you. And as we said, stick around for the interview with Marc Chavet and Gwendal Joliff after the match, win or lose. And he's struck twice on this lane. What can he do here? Oh, a little bit high, and no love there, leaving the 6-7 on the lane that he had figured out. And I don't think that missed by a whole lot, but once again, you save that energy. The ball turns through the back, and unfortunately, I'm afraid Gwendal's equipment is working against him in this match. Now he'll take the plastic ball and try to get to the right side of the 6-pin, slide it into the 7. Let's see how we do here. And he's trying for it. Oh, can't quite slide it over. Good attempt, but another open frame for Gwendal Joliff. We can almost call this match at this point, even though we're only in the 6th frame, unless Gwendal can somehow put together the back 5 here, which would only get him to 216. He would then also need help from Liz Johnson. So we're pretty much done, even though we're only 6 frames into this match. .216 maximum for Joliff, and Liz already pacing in the 230s with her handicap. And there's a good shot by Gwendal. Dead flush on that left lane. Of course, after he misses on the right lane, so doesn't it always work that way? You have one lane figured out, then as soon as you miss on that lane, the other lane comes in and allows you to strike. So welcome to bowling, and Gwendal will be back in subsequent matches. He's got a lot of talent. He averaged 230 in this qualifying, so no slouch is Gwendal. So good to see him on this telecast. Now Liz, she pretty much sealed the deal here with another strike or two. And how about a dead flush strike in the pocket? Sometimes you see a 7-pin leave on a high hit, a high flush hit like that, but not this time. It's a perfect shot by Liz Johnson. 5 in a row. Now going for 6. And again, she's in a position where she could basically pretty much open the rest of the way and still win. And that is straight up the lane. Oh, perfection. Everything right in the right place. Her angles are perfect. Everything's square. Ball's right in front of her. Look at this blind position straight up the lane. Oh, that's perfection. You see the ball go through the pins perfectly, end up right behind the 8-pin there. Beautiful shot there by Liz Johnson. Just love watching her. and love that she has 6 in a row. So this match is pretty much over. Now it's just a bowl it out for Gwendal and a victory lap for Liz Johnson. She will face Matt McNeil, as we said, and Matt has the smoothest release of pretty much anyone I've ever seen bowl, and he's used it to his advantage, winning many eagles at the USBC championships. And this ball is way left, unfortunately, up for the 1-3-6. And as we said, the tour rep for the ladies for Storm, so he does rep Liz Johnson and some other folks, Clara and some other folks. So we will see how that plays out in their competition in this next match coming up. Please hit like and subscribe on this YouTube channel. And once again, shout out to my friend Bruno Bidone, who's the coordinator and producer of these matches. There will soon be another tour coming up in September of 23, where we'll have another set of teams and qualifiers. Oh, and there's a nice chop to add insult to injury for Joliff. And it will just be a couple more frames for Gwendal, and then we will be on to Liz Johnson versus Matt McNeil on this same YouTube channel. As we said, Marc Chavet will interview Joliff at the end of this round. Yeah, Gwendal's he's not going to try any other equipment. He's going to stay with that dark code again. A little bit too skid flippy, I'm afraid, for this pattern. And it looks like a pin is way up as well. I think I saw the pin way above his fingers, which means he's getting maximum skid flip on the ball. And well, thanks very much. How about a mixer 710 in the pocket? So no love there for Gwendal. He's not getting any breaks, and he's having trouble with his break points, and he's throwing the ball, I think, fine. I think everything's mechanically fine with his game. He hasn't missed any easy spares or anything. He's just not getting any breaks, leaving splits, and not able to keep up with the onslaught of strikes that Liz has thrown here. KJ Martinez there right behind Gwendal there. So Gwendal will just take out the 7-pin. Does not get the kick out from the back, and that will be that. So we will watch Liz finish off her 9th and 10th here. Just take the victory lap. Just a question of what she shoots. Right now pacing in the 250s. Oh, how about another strike, pacing to the 260s. Funny enough, you could have a score above 300 by a lady on these matches because of the 8 pins of handicap. And if anybody was going to do that, it would be Liz. She would have the chance to go off the sheet. And I imagine if she were to shoot somewhere in the 290s, 300, to have a 308 score finally. It's very possible with Liz. And that was a little high. Oh, there's a little bit of a surprise. And again, that left lane a little bit drier. Turned up. She might have gotten it a little bit slow. It turns up for the 4-7-10 split. But at this point, irrelevant. That is the Lucy spare ball she has there. It's the Bowling Against Breast Cancer tournament. Oh, look at this spare. My gosh, she makes the 4-7-10. Oh my gosh, I think she just kind of threw it thinking, okay, we'll take my 1 or 2, but she slides the 4 over into the 10. What a great shot by Liz. And now goes to the Wolverine Moss ball with the clapping, and just she goes to a little bit lighter ball. She used that ball earlier, but went back up to the phase 2. Beautiful game by Liz Johnson. And this will be, here's the Moss going over 10. Doesn't quite turn the corner as hard as the phase 2. That's why she switched away from it in her last match. So congratulations for Liz. Onslaught of strikes, 263. That would be 255 scratch. So she's gone 240, 240, 250 scratch so far in her 3 games. So Liz is absolutely lined in on this pair, and we'll see. I think she's going to give Matt McNeil all he can handle in her next match. Very much looking forward to that. We will watch Gwendal wrap things up here. And if things are, again, that's a little bit light for a 3-pin. And shouldn't be any problem with the spare. He'll convert that and then close us out. And fortunately, a game that Gwendal would like to forget, but always good to get TV experience. And we will see Gwendal back in future competitions, no question about that. And good shot there. Covering the 3-pin. We'll have some stats right after this match. I believe we saw 8 strikes out of Liz all in a row in that 255 scratch, 263 with handicap performance. And Gwendal, I'm afraid, only struck a couple of times. But we'll look at the stats after the match is over. And once again, the clapping. You know this one's going to go. Of course. Yeah, of course. The last one always goes. All right, Gwendal. Good showing. We'll see you back again soon. And it is Liz Johnson against Matt McNeil. Gwendal with a 153. Not happy with that performance, obviously, but I think fighting his equipment a little bit. And of course, 8 strikes for Liz, 3 spares. All those 8 strikes all in a row. 4 strikes for Gwendal, 3 spares. And look at the opens. All splits. Joliff did not miss any makeables. He just did not have a good shot to the pocket. So stick around for our interview with Gwendal Joliff, and we will see you back for Liz Johnson versus Matt McNeil.
Aux côtés de Gwendal Joliff, qui va malheureusement sortir du tournoi, la dernière représentation, le dernier représentant français, 5e à l'issue des qualifs face à une institution du bowling, Liz Johnson, forcément la plus grande joueuse de tous les temps, celle qui a tout gagné. Gwendal, une petite réaction quand même, c'était un match difficile pour toi de rentrer de plein pied dedans?
Difficile parce que j'ai pas trouvé ce que je recherchais. J'avais pas du tout la même ligne de jeu que sur les qualifs. C'était beaucoup plus long, donc j'avais pas le contrôle de mon jeu aussi, donc je pouvais pas faire autre chose.
Et est-ce qu'il y a un côté un petit peu psychologique quand on affronte une joueuse du renom, du talent de Liz? On sait que chaque erreur risque d'être punie sévèrement, rapidement.
Ouais, c'est surtout ça, et surtout comment qu'elle avait enchaîné sur les matchs d'avant aussi. Je savais que ça allait être difficile.
Toi, tu étais qualifié 5e, ce qui veut dire que tu étais dans une position attentiste. Tu allais progressivement connaître l'identité de ton adversaire. Liz, à contrario, a dû se battre tour après tour. Pour toi, est-ce que c'est un avantage ou un inconvénient d'être mieux qualifié, finalement mieux placé dans le classement?
Non, c'est pas un avantage ou quoi. C'est plus, c'est surtout que j'ai bien joué sur la dernière série des 6 lignes, donc automatiquement, je suis monté d'un coup avec les 2,41, donc mais avec Liz, je savais qu'elle allait être contre moi, donc
Merci beaucoup Gwendal, merci beaucoup. L'année prochaine